Hey guys, it's Kaz here, and today I'm doing my January wrap up. So in January, it was a chill month. I didn't really put too much on my plate in terms of books I have to read, in terms of a solid TBR, but I ended up reading 10 things. Some of them are small things, some of them slightly bigger. It was chill. I also took part in the Read Your Shelves readathon in a chill way, but also managed to hit all of them apart from one, which I couldn't really hit because I didn't have any. So I did pretty well. The one thing I didn't do for the Read Your Shelves readathon was read a book that you bought on blah blah blah, say words that work please, was read a book you bought on vacation because I don't have any. I only started going on holiday in 2017. Before then, it was like 15 years since I went on holiday, so you know, don't really have anything for that. Although technically, I have bought one book on holiday before. I bought the third book in the Mara Dyer series in Dublin from a charity shop. But also, I'm not just going to randomly reread the third book in the Mara Dyer series just to hit this prompt. So you know, didn't happen. But I'll let you know as we go on what all the rest of them hit. First thing I read was Julian Breaks Every Rule by Andrew Smith. This is in the anthology Because You Love to Hate Me, which is a very middle of the road 3 stars anthology. There's some really good stuff in here, but most of it's like, nobody cares. But I reread this because Andrew Smith mentioned on Twitter that the characters in here were mentioned in Exile from Eden, which is something that you'll see me talk about in a second. So I was like, you know what, it's like probably 20 pages or 30 pages or whatever. I'll reread that. I enjoyed it. It's fun. It's about a guy, and then if people piss him off, you can just make them die. Not in a Death Note way, just in a kind of, oh, that person's annoying. I hope they get killed by doing this random thing. And then it happens, so that's that. It's fun. I like it. I used this on the free space category, just so it was a different colour to everything else, and on the make your own category, which I made into read a short story or novella. Boom. Next, I picked up Slam, Volume 1. This one, I give 3 stars. It's like, it's enjoyable, but it goes way too quickly. You don't have time to process any of the characters. 2 of the characters look exactly the same, and for a while I thought it was the same person until I realised they were both in the same panel, and I was like, oh shit, that's 2 different people that look exactly the same. So, you know, can't remember any of the characters' names, but that doesn't mean anything because I can't remember the character's name in any books. But it was too fast, the storylines went too quickly. If it would chill down a bit, if this first volume was just introducing people and it being pretty chill, I probably would have liked it more. But it's like introducing people extremely fast in about 1 page, and then it's like these 2 friends, and then they're falling out, and then something else happens, and then something else happens, and then relationships happen. I'm like, bro, it's like this many pages, chill the fuck out. So yeah, it probably will work best if it has a reread of this, because I feel like maybe you'll get more of the points, you'll remember the people, you'll not think that 2 characters are the same person for half of it. So, you know, I quite liked it, but it was just too much. I did really like the artwork in here though, so that always is a bonus for me when I'm reading comics. If I like the art, I'm probably more likely to want to carry on the series, even if it's not the best. Obviously if it's terrible, then I'm like, no thanks. But, you know, if I find a volume 2 for pretty cheap, like I found this one for pretty cheap, then I'll probably pick it up and give it a go. This is about some girls that do roller derby, and then too much happens. But in like a contemporary friends and fallouts and relationshipy kind of way. Oh yeah, and I use this for cover by because that pretty much is the reason it dragged me in, and graphic novel, for obvious reasons. Hello, that's my face, thank you. Next up I read This Book Is Grey by whoever it says on this picture here. This was just a random thing on my Kindle. It was on Amazon First Reads. All of Amazon First Reads generally are just boring to me. They're all exactly the same thing. It's mystery, thriller, or contemporary romance. I'm like, bro, give me some diversity. One time I did give diversity when I got The Fever King by Victoria Lee on there, but I found out recently on Twitter that apparently she got loads of hate from people, and people were like purposefully downvoting a book because it was on Kindle, Amazon First Reads and gay, so people were being pricks about it. But you know, That's got nothing to do with anything. So this book is a kid's book. I didn't rate it. It's literally a kid's book. It's just about a grey crayon trying to be grey in a world full of colour, and I read it and I got it for free because grey's my favourite colour, so I thought, why not? It was alright. It's a kid's book. Don't really have much to say. I like grey. That book is grey. And then because I read it, I just randomly threw it in the new to you author, even though a bunch of these could fit that, but you know, might as well chuck it in there for something. Next up, I buddy read Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackman with Simone over at Me, Simone and I, and Emily and Novel Novels. Me and Emily pretty much loved the book, and unfortunately Simone didn't, but you know, that's the aim of the game. Not everyone's gonna like everything, but I very much did enjoy this book. It's like a staple of YA, what do you call it? It's not fantasy, dystopian? Is it dystopian? Alternate kind of world. Basically in here, white people or Norse are the people that have been discriminated against. They were the ones that were in slavery and then recently second-class citizens. And then the crosses, who are black, are the people that are in power. So it's a nice little twist and it was just really interesting. I really liked the way it talks about certain things that happen in society, in the real world, obviously the other way around. For example, just small things like plasters. You know, everyone sees plasters and they're called nude, but really they're all beige. And in here, it's the opposite. They're all black. And then this Nought, or a white person, mentions it. And I'm like, exactly. So it's just really good. It talks a lot about race. It didn't go where I was expecting it to go. I just didn't know what the story was going to be. I just thought it was going to be like a love story between a Nought and a Cross, which it kind of is a little bit, but there's so much more here and so much politics and discrimination and terrorism, and it just went to places that I was not expecting it. And then the ending, I was like, I was not expecting that at all. This series is not where I expected it to go. Yes. I'm reading the next one this month, so I'm looking forward to it. It's just a great book that I'm sure a lot of you have read because, you know, it's a bit old now. So this book counted for bought used, own voices, more than 5 years old, and where did I buy this? Because I know it was secondhand, but I don't know which charity shop I bought it from. Because otherwise I would never be able to put something in there, where did I get this from? Because I know kind of where I got everything from. But not specifically, so it works. Next up, I reread Grasshopper Jungle by Andrew Smith. This is weird, like a lot of Andrew Smith books are. It's basically the apocalypse happens because somebody unleashes these massive praying mantises that just go around killing everyone and shagging and creating more mantises and destroying the world. And then in the midst of that, we follow our main character who's kind of coming to terms with the fact that he's bisexual and is in love with his best friend who's a boy and gay, and also in love with his girlfriend. That's pretty much like the easiest way I can explain this, but it's very weird. The way it's written is very Andrew Smith. It goes on a lot of tangents about his past and history and being Polish and his grandparents and father and great-grandparents. And it's just a great time. I reread this because I also read Exile from Eden by Andrew Smith, which is the sequel to Grasshopper Jungle. This is set 16 years afterwards and it follows, is it a spoiler? Kind of. It follows the child of some of the people in here and going out into the world and seeing how it is now 16 years later, where all these big fat mantises have been kind of overtaking it. And it also follows this other character which I loved. His name's Breakfast, and yeah, it's just very Andrew Smith and very fun and wacky and weird. So I used Grasshopper Jungle for reread, diverse, green on the cover, paperback and fantastical title, because Grasshopper Jungle, it's called Grasshopper Jungle and it's about praying mantises, you know, it's fun times. And then Exile from Eden, sequel, been meaning to read because obviously as soon as this came out I wanted to read it. Author You Love and 2019 release. So I was kind of a little bit slumpy in the middle of the month. Exile from Eden actually took me like 11 days to finish because I just wasn't in a reading mood. I was watching a bunch of stuff. So after I eventually finished that, I just blasted through the first and second volume of Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I bought these in January. I wanted to reread it. I've only ever read it from the beginning online, not literally from the beginning when it was published, but a year or two ago. So blasted through both of these, had a lot of fun. It's just cute and lovely and great, and about two boys falling in love, and it's just this, and it's great. And there you go. And both of these I kind of fit in the bought new because I did, and then recommended by a friend because I can't remember how I found Heartstopper, so I'm just going to pretend that someone must have mentioned it to me at some point several years ago. We'll go with it. Next up, on the same day I finished those 2 volumes of Heartstopper, I also read The Past and Other Things That Should Stay Buried by Sean David Hutchinson, which technically I could have put in the recommended by a friend, but I didn't think about that because I didn't actually know what I was going to read this month, so I just kind of coloured anything in for anything I could think of it. Let's pretend that one goes there instead. This one got me, and obviously recommended it, so you know, definitely fits into that. This I blasted through. It's not really long, but it's just so quick to read. It's about a guy whose ex-best friend dies and then comes back to life, and it's just them going about the business, talking, arguing, going around trying to figure out why they fell out and stuff, and it's just a lot of fun. It's very different, random from what you'd normally read, because you know, who doesn't want to chill out with their dead best friend? But good times. This I put in gift and hardcover, but let's also pretend that it's recommended by a friend because this definitely was, and I don't know if Heartstopper was. Next I read The Death and Life of Charlie St. Cloud by Ben Sherwood. This one I fit in for the movie, whatever the word is. This one I fit into the movie adaptation category. I've seen the movie many years ago. I found the book many years ago. I finally read the book. I enjoyed it. I knew the basic storyline, but some of the things I did actually forget, so when it happened I was like, oh cool, no way, that happened. This is about this guy, Charlie, who as a teenager is in a car accident with his brother dies, he survives, but he makes a pact with his brother that he'll hang out with him, he's going to be there forever. So like 15 years later or however long later, at night time he still goes and chills out with his dead brother and throws a baseball around, and then it's about having a life, trying to get out of that, trying to find friends and relationships and stop living in the past kind of thing. It was nice, it was fun, it was easy to read. I thought it would be boring, I don't know why, because why would I buy it? But it wasn't, I enjoyed it. And then the last thing I read, just because I wanted to mark off the non-fiction one as well, so I only had the vacation thing that I didn't pick because I couldn't. I read Norse Mythology, a concise guide. It was about 50 pages long. It was on my Kindle. I literally looked through my Kindle trying to find something that was non-fiction and short so I could just, you know, get it in there just so I could mark nearly everything off. I like to say I was only half caring about read your shelves, but I was out here trying to win it. This, as you might guess by the title, is about Norse mythology, concise guide. 3.5 stars. Is this very concise, but it's also trying to shove loads of information in there. I'm like, whoa, go back. I don't know what the crap you're on about. There's too many names that are just thrown out once and you have to remember who they are. Shout out to Rick Weldon because I know some of them because of Magnus Chase. Thanks. But yeah, it was alright. I enjoyed it. It wasn't amazing. It was chill. I read it. So in January I read a total of 4 books off my 2020 TBR, which means I have gone from 45 books to 41 books to read this year. I thought I should check in every month at this bit so I don't neglect them and then have loads at the end of the year like last year. There we go, 41. So here are all the things that I read in January. Quite a lot considering it was a chill month that I didn't really read much in the middle of it. Pretty decent. Let me know down below what you read in January, or if you've read any of these, what were your thoughts? Let me know. If you did read your shelves, let me know. Say some words in the comments because that's what it's there for. Thanks. If this is your first video by me and you enjoy it, please check out some of the others. And if you continue to enjoy, then please subscribe. That would be awesome. Anyway guys, I'll see you in a few days with another video. Bye.